All right, let's see if this one works now. Let's see. Let's do an audio and visual check. Everything looks and sounds good on my end. That's twice this year that we've had some issues. I'm not sure why. Maybe I'll have to work behind the scenes and figure out what is really going on, because everything's fine on my end. I have the teasing me about the internet. I have great internet. It's hardwired, it's direct, and no issues there, where everything's working fine on my end, but for some reason it's just the buffer. Now, that being said, let's redo it. Let's start from square one for everybody who is starting to join. And let's go ahead and just restart this. Give me 1 second. I'm going to restart the session and go through the regular disclosure and everything for everyone just joining. So as always, let me go ahead and put that risk disclosure in the YouTube chat. Let's go ahead and do that. Go ahead and paste, and there we go. Okay, welcome everybody. Welcome to Slow Markets again. Take 2 and 3 and 4 and whatever. In the YouTube chat, there's a top step risk disclosure. Everything I say and go over each night is for educational purposes only. That being said, the first thing I wanted to talk about is the team name. The VIP is going to be coming this month. I am going to be doing a VIP team, and I put it on Twitter or X for the VIP poll for my team name. Now, remember, these are names that were provided by the community. I just picked 4 of them, and I put it up for a poll. And what I'm going to do is, the top 2, I'm going to run another poll. And if you guys still have good names, go ahead and put a suggestion under that same thread. Let me just pull it up, and I could just show everybody here. I think that might be a little bit better, so that way you know exactly what I'm talking about and knowing what I am referring to. Let's see if I could do that. Let's see here. That one. Here we go. There's the poll. This is the poll. These are the first 4 names that I have put in the poll. If you do not like any of these names, go ahead and make a suggestion of your own on what you believe is a much better team name. And then at the end of this poll, the top 2 is going to be, and I'll pick another 2 from the suggestions, because I want to do 2 polls and then come to a final decision and let the audience vote, let the audience pick the team name, and then that will be, I believe, my team name for the VIP session. Getting ready for the Top Step Trading League. I'm excited for that. Yeah, now back to slow markets. Let's get to it. We're going to go through the regular rapid fire. We'll talk about the NASDAQ, crude oil, the Nikkei, gold, and then we'll get to some questions. So if you have questions, feel free to just type them in whenever. If I do not get to them, you could retype those in, but we have amazing moderator who does send me the questions that I do tend to miss. I mean, you guys, everybody here loves to ask questions, and yeah, sometimes I do not get to all of them. But that being said, let's get to it. Here's the NASDAQ daily. It was an interesting day. It was not surprising. Obviously, nothing is surprising in the NASDAQ anymore. But today, more than most, was kind of predictable. Not predictable in the way that I was able to find any great trades. I ended up my day up $7,000 in my live account. And I, of course, after rewatching or reviewing the session, there's always room to make more. And as I was talking about during the New York session, we have this downward pressure, this trend line on the daily chart. We all know yesterday we had, or the day before, Monday, we've rallied up. We rallied all the way up to 880s, the 21,880s. And then we sold all the way off the following day. So this was pretty dang bullish. We got up to this resistance line, and then we just completely sold off. We sold off down to maybe this key level. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out now. Tomorrow is Wednesday. We do have news. But as we start to zoom in to an hourly chart, Here's an hourly chart. You kind of see this. I mean, nothing's perfect, right? Nothing is really perfect in this market when doing technical analysis. It's usually zones, but we could kind of see this, lower. I talked about this last night, maybe. I can't remember. Everybody in the chat would know a lot more than myself, right? About talking. Oh man, what did I talk about? Did I talk about this last night or no? I think I did. But if we look at these lower highs, and today, sure enough, today is exactly that. Today was a lower high. And that's what we got. We're looking at the hourly chart. And if we do some more in-depth analysis, kind of just talking about what it looks like, I was referring to, here's a high, a lower high, and then a sell-off. Same thing, high, a lower high, and then we got the sell-off. And then this is what I was pointing out during fast markets. The start of fast markets was this is kind of a decision zone, right? This is a decision zone where we can break out and continue this trend up, or we can sell off. And, sure enough, that's what we did. We're continuing what we've been doing for the last little bit. Yeah, it's hard to say where we're at now, right? Because very easily we could have continuation to the downside, and maybe we look for a test of these lows. Or maybe this is a higher low. So this is also a possibility, and something I am watching and considering is, if this is going to be a bullish trend, we could very well see a higher low, and maybe we come up and push up towards these, mid to upper, like this mid 600s, these mid 600s, 700s, and start to form a flagging pattern. This could be a possibility. Tomorrow and this week, we form some type of consolidating pattern, some type of flagging pattern. I'm not sure what it looks like, but yeah, this could definitely be a higher low being formed. We don't know yet, right? Until after the fact, but it's what I'm watching. I'm watching things like this: higher lows, higher or lower highs, and higher lows coming into play. And it's hard to pick a direction right now. It's almost like I want to be bullish, but I can't. I can't even be bearish right now because we had that nice sell-off. We're kind of in the middle of this range, this area. I mean, if we want to mark something out like this, we're kind of in the middle of it. Very indecisive. We could go either direction, in my opinion, and just wait, see what the market does, see what the market tells us. I'm not seeing any decent setups tonight. I'm not seeing any decent setups to either side. Let's move on. Let's move on to let's take a look at the Nikkei real fast. I want to take a look at the Nikkei. Nikkei was, man, Nikkei's just like the NASDAQ, right? Where we had that lower high, and then we just completely retraced that entire move from last night. That was interesting. Like, that was a big move yesterday or last night, where it was 1 3/4 up and went right back down. I mean, basically down to where we basically opened up last night in the Nikkei. And now, just like I'm wondering on the NASDAQ, is this a higher low, or we're in a similar situation? We're in a similar situation with the Nikkei. It's a little bit of a mess. I think I'm going to prefer to just be patient, wait. Let's see what tomorrow provides. Let's see if there's more clarity and if there's something else. So let's get to some questions for a moment. I'm going to switch over to a demo while we take a look at the crude oil, and then we could take a look at gold. So questions, crude oil, and then gold. So give me just a moment. And then maybe near the end of the class, we'll talk about my trades. We'll talk about my trades during the New York session. Do you think the NASDAQ can reach 21,550 tonight? Maybe we could talk more in depth about it in a moment. Earlier this morning, you had a bull image and switched it to a bear. I know your explanation why, but could you go over that again? I'd like to understand your logic on the switch. Yeah, I could go over that. I think it's important today to see how everything changed this morning, when it changed, and then those trades of like me placing those changes. I'm right on direction, but wrong on timing. Any advice? That has been my issue for a little while. Same as you. It is a lot of times it feels like you're right on direction and wrong on timing. Others, you're right on timing, but wrong on direction of when the market's going to move. And we could go over that as well. Why did you short the pullback like this morning? Yeah, we'll go over my trades this morning. I'm getting a lot of questions from my trades this morning during fast markets. We'll go over that. So let's talk about this crude oil, and then we'll go over those trades. And yeah, crude oil might be starting to become a tradable market once again. And, bullish crude, but we broke through this, like I've been saying for a week or two. We're making higher lows. We broke out, looking for this market to rally up to $75 a barrel. Maybe we're just looking for this to either sell back down, but it looks like it didn't. It looks like it did not, which is nice to see. This became a higher low if we take out that little pivot right there. And we are finding buyers in crude again. So let's see if crude could start to rally. This is going to be a key resistance zone here around $75 a barrel. Maybe we could get up into the 77s, if we do break out, start to continue to push. But this is starting to become a more tradable market. I want to see more of this, more volatility. More volatility, the better in crude oil. Until then, it's still just being patient, waiting, seeing if we could see bigger moves and have it become more and more tradable. Let's take a look at gold. Okay, gold. This is an hourly chart on gold. I mean, similar thing with gold, to be honest. I mean, this has been the question is, yeah, are we going to be stuck and basically stuck in this range in the mid 600s? And how long are we going to be stuck there? Where do we just play this range, buy low, sell high, sell at the upper end of this range, buy near the lower end? And until this changes, it's same as oil for me. So still focusing primarily on the NASDAQ for me, and maybe a little bit of the Nikkei, because the NASDAQ and the Nikkei for me personally has been a lot more volatile, a lot more opportunities. And yeah, I think that is the decision I'm going to be going with. Nikkei and the NASDAQ for tonight. Let's get to a few more questions, and then I will review my trades from today. Do you ever trade the range or just expansions? I'm not much of a range trader. I'm not a great range trader. I can trade the range. I have, but I prefer... yeah, I think it depends. I think it really depends. Do you ever trade the range? Let's go. You were looking at higher time frames earlier. Hour chart, I believe. Correct. Yep. I start on the daily. I'll zoom into an hour, and then I'll continue to zoom into, say, like a 5 minute. What's it going through? Yeah. Okay. Let's just do this. Let's just go over my trades for today. Let's just go over the trades for today. And I think that's going to answer a lot of the questions that are in this chat. Just a ton of questions coming in, and yeah, I think it's going to be good. Let's take a look at that. So let's take a look at the hourly. So first of all, when I came into the New York session, this is about where we were at. This is about where we were at in the New York session to start the day out. Hourly chart, very bullish. We all know we broke out over the previous day, the overnight. We had that huge rally all the way up to almost 21,900. We got a bit of a pullback, and then I was looking at this, maybe some type of a flag forming. Maybe this is a pullback to buy. This is a buyer's market, and I was possibly looking for this market to, rally up to this area and this high. So that was the original trade for today, was when I first opened the charts, when I first got into the New York session. And this is what I was looking at. I was looking for the market to continue, maybe a little bit of a pullback, just a little bit, and then maybe finding some buying opportunities to the long side. However, everything changed. So I started the day off. You guys seen it. I had the bull on the background. Everything was fine, and that all changed. Okay, so remember, I did have this on the back of my mind. This was something. I talked about it. I talked about this. So even though I was bullish, I did talk about this on a higher time frame, on the hourly chart. I say, hey, this is something to pay attention to. And I was thinking about it. I was there with Nick for a tick. And yeah, sure enough, we were like, to start the morning, we could see that huge sell-off. Now, I didn't know, nobody knows when the sell-off is going to come, if it's going to sell off, or when it is going to sell off. So we tried to break out above 800 and then fell dramatically. So if we zoom into a 5-minute chart, so remember, like I was saying last night, there's a lot of context to it. There was a lot of context to what's going on. It's like understanding the entire situation. Like I did a lot of analogies to sports, a lot of sports analogies of saying we have to be aware of all the situations that could come about. We have to be aware of what's going on these higher time frames, and we have to be aware of when the market moves, what the possibilities could be. Of course, anything's possible, but possibilities based off of your market analysis. So that was what I was watching. I was watching these highs, and I was watching for a breakout to the long side. So I was watching for this long side to look for buying opportunities. And sure enough, we did start to get a nice breakout. However, this breakout occurred like 30 minutes before the market opened. Like this breakout and this failed breakout, I guess you could say it, was basically trying to happen right before the market opened. So you can see this is 5 minutes before the market opened. We were trying to break out, and it was just looking really bullish, right? It was looking like we could break, push, and maybe start looking at some of these highs up here. Now, given there's news events, right? News events in the markets that will change and adjust, and like we always have to be aware of it. And sure enough, right, we started to break out, and it looks like we were going to break out. And anyway, we sold off really hard the first 5 minutes. I mean, actually, that was it. Like that was it. And it was weird because it was during let me see. Yeah, let me make sure. My memory is horrible, so just bear with me. I just remember we sold off really hard at the very beginning. We got a nice bounce, right? We bounced right back up. I'm going to zoom in some more. And we bounced all the way back up to these 780s, and it looked like, okay, well, maybe we're just waiting for the news. Market's consolidating. We tried to break out to the long side. We sold all the way down to 700s. And we came and tested some of these lows. We have the news. And then sure enough, as soon as the news came, and as soon as we started, basically around this point, and then as soon as we started to break these lows, I don't know, you guys might have to rewatch it. When did I change my background to a bear? And I was just saying, okay, this is now a bearish market. Remember if what we was talking about on the higher time frame is now coming into play. Next levels I was having was like down here around this area, this zone. Maybe we could come down and test one of these levels, these mid 550s. If not, even Hoag had 470s into play, and that's what I was looking for. That's what I was looking for, and I was like, okay, let's find a way to short this market. And trust me, for me, everybody here in the chat knows I have a hard time shorting markets. I really do have a hard time shorting markets. I'm going to zoom into a 100 tick chart so I can kind of show you guys what I was looking for on trying to sell a pullback. So I had 2 trades today, and they were selling pullbacks. This was the first one. Watch the recording on Top Step TV, and you could see how I went through and maybe my thought process My thought process throughout the entire thing was live. And so over on the 5-minute chart, we had that nice little rally. And honestly, I typically, I probably would have shorted right here. I would have shorted 600. And if everybody in here remembers, kind of one of the tweaks I've made to my strategy is during very volatile times where my entry is, I would typically have my stop loss, like say right here, because I like this pivot. I do like this area as a resistance to put my stop loss there. And like I said, you know what? I'm going to just practice what I preach, and I'm going to have my entry be my stop loss, and then I can move my stop loss a little bit higher. And so, you know, sure enough, the market went up, it tagged my entry, and then we sold off, right? And it worked out beautiful. It worked out really, really well. Now, of course, I didn't hold for this entire move. I closed, 30, 35 points or whatever, and that was the short trade. It was the market was breaking down. My target area was going to be these mid-50s, even lower, these 470s, and we got a nice little pullback. And yeah, that was the short trade. That was the first one. Okay, that's what I was looking at. That's what I was thinking through. And then the second one, very similar, right? We had this nice rally. Where's it at on this one? We had this really nice rally. We started to break through, and it was the same thought process. It really was. So my thought process was, I think it was right here. I think it was right around here where this would look like a decent area to short because there's a lot of resistance right here. So I'm like, you know what? This is a decent area to short. My stop loss would typically be, somewhere up above, right? Decent area to short. My stop loss somewhere up above. And I did the exact same thing. I said, you know what? Stop loss is a much better entry, much better entry. And yeah, you know what? It happened again. We consolidated, we broke up. I entered into a short, and that gave me the ability to have a nice wide stop loss. And yeah, this one played out really well. I believe I closed it. I believe I closed like one right here, and then I closed the rest somewhere in this zone. So both of them played out really well. Regardless of that, of course, this one would have been a better short, right? You never know which one's going to be selling off. Plus, we were coming to the end of fast markets, going into the lunch hour for the New York session, and I wasn't expecting much anyway, but 25 points is 25 points, 30 points on one, 40 points on the other, whatever. It came to 74 points, 7,400 on just those two trades. But yeah, sometimes it does suck to miss moves like this and miss some of these bigger moves to start the morning session. But more times than not, when there's news events, when there's a lot of volatility, it's better to pass and wait and then just wait for the next trade. Someone's saying Nikkei's going up. It looked like it was, yeah, Nikkei's breaking out. I was almost going to hop into a long too. I was halfway tempted. I was halfway tempted. I didn't. I did not, but that's okay. That's maybe a higher low in the Nikkei, right? And a higher low in the Nikkei. Do we see a nice rally? It looks like we are getting that rally in the Nikkei. Let's see. Going through this. All right, let's get to some more questions. Coach Hoop, Dakota, do you think interest market can rally any? Pretty oversold, could be a cheap long for slow market trade. Which market, Coach Hoop? Are you referring to like the 2-year bonds or the notes, 2-year notes? If you are, I don't really trade these, and so I would be one of the last people you would expect. Let me know, Hoop. I'm thinking you're referring to the notes. Let me see. If not, yeah, just let me know what you're referring to. Dakota, how do you know when to short and when not to? I kind of go over it each and every night, like what I'm thinking of, what my and I try and do it during fast markets too. My thought process when I trade, what I'm thinking. I kind of was just going through this, example. Like this example, I walk through why and when and how I shorted. Because there was a lot of momentum to the downside. There was more room. I had some downside targets of like 470s, 550s. We got the first bounce off a nice sell-off. And yeah, there was a lot of things at play. How do you know low is a low? Do you look for consolidations? Swan, yeah, I look for areas of support and resistance and consolidations, right? Like, I mean, today was a pretty clear example of that, right? This was a nice level of support all the day before, and as soon as we broke through that support, I mean, it was a nice trending sell-off. How do you know when to cut a trade short when in profit, or do you just let it play out and hit the stop? Typically for me, I talked about this last night a little bit, that I tend to just let trades play out and hit the stop. And it really depends. It depends on the situation. It depends on what you're looking for, and it depends on what time frame you're trading. So it's very hard to say. Me personally, I like to let trades play out depending on the situation. If there's news going on, if it's the lunch session, is it slow markets, what time frame am I trading on, what market am I trading? There's so many different things that could come into play to give you an answer. Do you use level 2 data as much as bookmap or footprint to confirm? No, I do not. I do not use level 2 data. I mean, I'll watch the DOM to see orders come and go. Do you look at orders when taking those shorts, or just areas of technicals, pure technicals? Everything you see me do, 100% technical analysis. It really is. There's not much to it. It really is. I don't want to say that. I don't want to say there's not much to it. Yeah, I would say I don't look at level 2 data. That's it. I just don't look at level 2 data. What are you going to start off when you get your team? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, all the details are going to be coming, Wildfire. I don't know all the details. I'm getting my team name figured out this week. I'll have a team name final. We're going to have some more details. I'm super excited for the Top Step Trading League. It's going to be fun. You could probably take random trades and manage them into a profit. Yeah, Charles. I mean, in theory, there is something to that, where you can take random trades, and well-managed trades taken at random can be profitable. I know it's weird to think, but I've had people test it out, and yeah, if you can manage a trade really good and effectively, and you can manage a stop loss, you can manage risk, you wouldn't do half bad. Yeah, you wouldn't do half bad. You might not do half good either. Dakota, can you explain the strategy that you back test and what it is, how it's different from the past? I mean, I kind of summarized it. I still have a lot to review. I mean, it's only the start of the year. I still haven't reviewed everything of 2024. But yeah, I mean, essentially, through some of the most volatile times, see money, take money has been better for some volatile markets. I mean, I was primarily looking at December and some of August. Tom. Yes, Tom. Can we follow the same strategy for stock, for example, Apple, Microsoft, and others? Trimar, I wouldn't say it's a strategy. I would say that it's technical analysis will work on stocks. I mean, I see technical analysis, and technical analysis for me, the same analysis that you see me do here. I've had it work on stocks. I've had it work in Forex and futures and just, any market. I mean, Bitcoin, for example, we talk about Bitcoin. let's pull up Bitcoin. Take a look at this, right? I mean, here we are again. Now we're on the lower side. We're below 100,000. And so I'm still, I might have asked this last night. I've probably asked this a few times. How many times do we think we're going to cross the 100,000 level? Are we going to just hover around this all year? You just never know. I mean, we were breaking out above it. Now we're below it. Tomorrow maybe we're going to be above it. It's hard to say. It's a big psychological number. And, maybe we're going to be talking about 100,000 in Bitcoin next year. I would say technicals work in most markets, or at least every market that I've really traded. How many requirements before entering a trade on fast markets? Do you need to be confident in a trade? What's your strategy on momentum trading? I don't have too many requirements for entering a trade, because the more requirements you have on a trade, sometimes that really leads to hesitation, and then you miss out on the opportunity. So sometimes less is more, and that's why I always say keep it simple is usually the best. Dakota, can you speak to your successful trading last year and rebalancing, making subtle changes? How do you decide what to tweak versus not? Maybe we could do a whole session on that. Maybe I do a whole session, particularly on that. What's the thoughts on that question? I mean, I have a whole list of stuff. I just want to keep going and going and going. I will have class tomorrow. Now remember, Thursday is a holiday, not a holiday, but the markets, the U.S. markets are closed on Thursday. I'm still going to have class, but I think what I'm going to do is tonight I'm going to end class. Tonight's only going to be a 1 hour class. I have people over. I had a whole bunch of stuff I forgot about, so I think I am going to hold class tomorrow. So instead of not having class tomorrow, I'm going to hold class tomorrow. Today, I'm going to just have a short one. But I do think that question deserves an entire class, an hour and a half. Yeah, actually remind me. I'm going to make a note of that. Let me put a note. Let me do this. Yeah, I'm making a note on that because who wants to know and understand that? I mean, I could kind of just go over what I was looking at in my trading from 2024 and then talk about why and what I'm looking to adjust. I've kind of went over it a few times, but I want to maybe go more in depth on that. Yeah, and I'll make sure everybody knows before. I'll make sure everybody here knows. So maybe I could change the title for that. I could adjust it. I could even announce it on Top Step TV or even announce it on social media. Soon. I would love to be able to have fellow viewers come on stream. We talked about it. We teased about it a little bit last year. That would be a live Q&A. Leon, what would be a proper risk on a 50K account? I would say micros. Trade micros. Don't risk more than, say, $100, $200 per trade. We should all go bowling, Tom. I would love to do a live Q&A. I've teased it. Here's the thing with a live Q&A is sometimes it could be difficult because it's obviously you guys see what I deal with, the connection, making sure things run smoothly, making sure that the connection's okay, making sure that the screen looks good, making sure everything's run smooth. Maybe we could do kind of a phone call where we could get a caller on the phone. There's a lot of ideas that it's now 2025 that I want to start coming to life. And everything that you guys are able to bring, it'd be nice. Lame Matrix, it's not easy, dude. It's not. It's not as easy as what you might think. Are payouts still being processed tomorrow? Not sure what you mean by that, Adil. I've never had or seen any issues with that. I love to get on with you. Yeah, I think a phone call, I think starting out with a phone call will be best. Because, I mean, the last thing I want is some troll trying to tune in and then, like, what do we call it? Live troll my stream. That's not what I want. And so there's going to be a process. There'll be a process. Maybe we could do a phone call. And then if that phone call is really just a troll, I could hang up on them. Something like that, to where it's a little risk for myself. And then eventually lead it on. I still need to get Coach Hoop on for slow markets. I still need to get Hoag on. I need to get MP on. I still need to get some of the priority things on first. But there's been so much going on, behind the scenes and on Top Step and what I'm doing, that things continue to get pushed down the road. And now it's 2025 and things starting to come to light. We're being able to get to this Top Step Trading League. I'm doing the trading league, the VIP Trading League, and now it's more and more and more stuff. So it's continuing to get better and better. Dakota, who did you say was coming on with you Thursday nights? So no one's planned on Thursday nights. I do have Coach Jay. Coach Jay's on with me Wednesday nights. So that's not going to change. Coach Jay is going to be on with me on Wednesday nights. Wednesday nights, Coach Jay. Feels like it's been a while because it seems like every single time there's either a holiday, there's something going on. I mean, heck, even this Wednesday, we have the markets are closed Thursday. And so, yeah, I'm still planning on having Coach Jay on Wednesdays. Yeah, I'm not going to speak on what you guys are referring to because I don't know the details, and it wouldn't be fair for me to speak on something I don't know the details on. Yeah, everyone's asking me about rips, but I don't know what I don't know, and I'm not going to speak on something I don't know. Anyone else see NQ just about to start a downtrend? Let's take a look. Not sure what you mean on that one on NQ. What is your morning live trade schedule? I mean, you guys know, tune into Top Step TV. Top Step TV's Top Step team, they send out an email every Sunday. You guys get to see it. I'm typically on Monday in the morning, Tuesday in the morning, Friday in the morning. I'm on Wednesday during Power Hour, and then basically Sunday night through Thursday night, I'm on for slow markets. What about D? Yeah, D's trading the Nikkei. So, I mean, this is like her nighttime, right? Everyone in London is usually sleeping right now, and their session doesn't start until the morning. So that would be a little difficult, right? Yeah, me too. I live in London. Coach Dakota, can you teach me the way of price action? Tune in every night, man. Tune in every night. You guys are asking you want to know my strategy. You want to know how to trade. You want me to teach you the secrets. But I'm kind of doing that each and every night. And most of the people in the chat don't really listen, or they don't pay attention. I'm doing absolutely everything under my power to show you what I do, to show you how I trade, to show you my thought process and speak my thought process and think out loud and talk about my trading and show you how to do it. Show you the executions live, right? Nothing's being hidden. You see the executions live. You see the analysis live. You hear and see my thought process live. It's all recorded on YouTube, and there's not really much else I could do outside of reaching through this computer monitor and clicking the button for you. it's on you, everybody else. It's on you to take that time, put in the hard work, learn, ask these questions, and just show up. Like, honestly, I mean, if you followed me every single day for a year, I would make an assumption that you would be a better trader. And that's only an assumption. I don't know. I've received amazing feedback. I've seen a lot of traders find success doing so. And yeah, it's hard to I don't know. Maybe that's interesting. It's an interesting to think of. I think about that all the time. Is what can I do to help traders trade better? And it's like I feel like I'm doing everything I can that I've been willing to do, and there's not much else I could do. There's really not. There really isn't anything else that I can do in terms of that. I get, you guys would be surprised how many messages I get saying, "What's your strategy? Send me your written strategy," or, you know, "How are you trading? What's your strategy on this? Where's you enter? Where you do this?" And I'm just like, watch it on Top Step TV and take notes. I mean, it cannot get more transparent than doing everything live in front of you, day in, day out, at night, my nightly going over the markets, and then again during the day, during Top Step TV, during the day. Everything is recorded. So if somebody really wanted to, you could go back through all of the Top Step TV recordings here on YouTube and watch it. Because there's a year's worth of, or almost over a year now worth of me trading on Top Step TV on YouTube recorded. You could go through that. You could spend an entire month going through all that. And yeah, it's all there. It's up to you, honestly. Do a clip of all my trades. Man, I told you, I bet I could give everybody my strategy and exactly how I trade, like I do every single night. And yeah, everyone will trade it differently. Everyone will definitely trade it differently. That's for sure. Look at this. This is interesting. You think this has anything to do? Do you think that? I put that on there during the New York session too. When the market was still up here, I put this line on there. This resistance that we kind of hesitated and we broke out and we came back and we pulled back and tested. That's an interesting one. Yeah, Christy, appreciate it. I mean, that's all I'm really here to do, right? I'm excited for the Top Step Trading League. So we're coming up to the end. 3 more minutes. Like I said, I'm going to end it early tonight because I am doing tomorrow. I'm not taking a day off for tomorrow. I'm going to end it early tonight. And then tomorrow, as usual, 3-bar reversal. You have been watching me, Walter Rivas. Yeah, so anyway, thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Like I said, stay tuned. I'm social media on Twix, on Twitter, X. Have the vote. Trying to come up with my Top Step VIP team name, the VIP team name. Nothing's final yet. Remember, this is the first vote. I have the decoders, like decoding the market, right? The Pop Squad, which is kind of my favorite, the process over profits squad, price action heroes, and then the dependers, which is, at this point just a joke. But after this poll, I'll throw 2 more on there, and then we'll come to a final decision. Now remember, the team name was basically made by the community, and it's voted on by the community, so it's 100% up to the community on what my Top Step Trading League VIP team name is going to be. And remember, more details to come. The more you guys watch Top Step TV, they're always giving out all the details. They're always giving out all of the details, trust me. And yeah, that being said, I will look forward Tomorrow is Wednesday, so I will be on for Power Hour tomorrow. I'll be on for Power Hour tomorrow, and then again slow markets tomorrow, and that's it. Okay, guys, everybody, see you bright and early tomorrow afternoon. Take care and see you then.